Hey, good morning, Dan. As you may have guessed, I'm coming to you from the pool I'm coaching today. And it seems like an appropriate venue for talking about the swim race that I did last week. This was at Neshonoc Lake in West Salem, which is just east of La Crosse, right off of I-90. Say hello to Dan.
Hi, man.
And this was this past Sunday, June whatever. I was pretty disappointed with the race. There were a lot of things I didn't like about it, but my time being the biggest one. Anyway, here's some video from that day, and I can talk a little bit more about what my experience was. So this was the course. You can see the red buoy on your left. Those buoys there, the orange ones, are like the sort of the tail end of the course. And then you take a hard left, and then you go way out. You follow those buoys, and then you swim around that point on the right. So this is a better look at what that looks like. So you start at the top left, and you swim down around. The idea was you had to keep all the buoys on your left. So you swim down around that buoy. And the awkward part is, as you can see, if you keep the buoys on your left, and I just made a line on the map just so you can see where the line between the buoys, you can cut the corners. And I pointed this out to the race director, especially once you get to the end and you turn around and you come back because you finish the same place you start. You could cut a huge corner off. And she's like, oh, I never thought about that. We'll just tell people to swim close to the buoys. I don't know, it was kind of hokey and not very well laid out. Unfortunately, it didn't do me any good anyway because I tend to pull so far left that I was constantly to the left of the buoys instead of to the right of them. It was a frustrating swim. I really need to work on swimming straighter. Is the start of the race. You started in twos, and I started with a guy named Andrew. So the first guy went, then 5 seconds later I went. So you can see the little moving orange buoy off in the distance right behind the kayak, and I'm right behind that guy. So I think my turnover rate could be much greater than it was. I'm really struggling with the turnover rate, trying to not swim faster, just increase that turnover rate, which, yes, will result in swimming faster, but with the same amount of effort. Anyway, the conditions were pretty good there. The lake was really high, full of just shit, because this is actually part of the La Crosse River. It's just a wide spot in the La Crosse River. Did end up with a sinus infection coming out of it Monday morning, but, it's par for the course on these things. But I started behind a guy named Andrew. You'll see this on the results. And like I said, pretty disappointed with my time. And then here is a bit of the finish. You'll see me doing butterfly. This is always my signal to Beth that it's me. I do like 3 or 4 strokes of fly. That way she knows it's me coming in. There was the wind kind of straight out. So as you were swimming out, the wind was lifting your feet, and you knew you were going to deal with it on the way back in. It was just constant slaps in the face until you made that turn at the middle of the course. So it was tough. It was tough swimming on the way back, which usually I like, but I don't know. I was cranky. Water temperature was good. So yeah, and there weren't a lot of swimmers actually. There were only 15 in the non-wetsuit, the 2.4 mile non-wetsuit race. So here's the results. You can see Andrew's at 56, Daniel's at 57. That guy's 64. I should have swam faster than him and than me. 102.14. Yeah, pretty disappointed with that. So when I did the math, 2.4 miles at 102.14, that comes out to about 129, so minute 29, 100 pacing. I'm swimming about 118 100s, 115 100s often in the pool. So, as near as I can tell, this is how I actually swim. So not exactly straight. Todd's gonna lend me one of his Garmin's. And this is I have to tell you, this is one of the chief frustrations for all open water swimmers and chief challenges is how do you swim straight? So I got this 5K coming up near Minneapolis next month, and then that 5-mile race in Virgin Islands. And if you're adding 10% onto your distance, it's hard. It's hard to swim fast. So, as near as I could tell, I swam like 2.7 miles if I was swimming at 120, 100 pace, which I felt like I was. So anyway, that's enough for that. That's my swim, and I'm unfortunately sticking to it.